What is up, YouTube? It's me, John Avenger, once again. Welcome back to another Movies That People Bitch About. This is a older film. It's from the 70s, and it spawned a franchise that had three sequels and a TV series and, an animated series. And, it's one of the greatest cult films I've ever seen. And yeah, it does get a lot of flack, but for the ridiculous premise, I still enjoyed it. And that is the original Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. This is a really fun horror film, and it does get a cult following, and I think it deserves it because it's a ridiculous premise: a bunch of tomatoes killing people. It's ridiculous, but it knows what it is, and it says it here. Look at these are some decent reviews. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes comes up with more laughs than Saturday Night Live does on a good night. I actually agree. Saturday Night Live to me has been funny in like 10 years. And this movie made me laugh. It has some musical numbers that are pretty fun, except for the one at the end. One of the musical number with the soldiers was just a little bit too gay for me. It was just ridiculous. It was too much. It was overbearing. But I like the theme song of this movie. I like the some of the songs that come out of nowhere. It's shot well. I love the way the 70s films look. It's not too long. The cast, yeah, it's there. You have David Miller, George Wilson, Sharon Taylor, and Rock Peace. And special appearances by Jack Riley and Von Schauer. Or Scour. I don't know how to say his name. It's German, I guess. But this is a fun movie. The critics missed a point. It's called Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. You're not exactly going to get an Oscar contender here. You're going to get a fun B movie that knows what it is and runs with it. And I even like the sequels. Well, for the most part, I like Return of the Killer Tomatoes with young George Clooney before he was famous, and the Killer Tomato Strikes Again or something like that, or Strikes Back. I like that one, but the one in France, I thought that was very weak because it wasn't as funny. The best thing in the sequels is the villain that played by what's his name? John Aston. He's hilarious. He's a great villain. I don't think he's not in this movie, but he's in the sequels. But the original the villain is the tomatoes. In the sequels, it's John Aston's crazy doctor. He's just he's so over the top and fun to watch. But this is a fun movie. If you've never seen Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, watch it. You will not regret it. It's fun B movie 70s cheese that just delivers, and it's better than a lot of horror movies that came out this year. Unlike the horror films from now, this doesn't have crappy CGI. It doesn't have stupid plot twists like a Shyamalan movie. It doesn't have actors that are from a freaking GQ model magazine. It doesn't have a long running time. It doesn't have jump scares. It knows what it is. And this is the collector's edition of the movie. I'm glad I got it because I got it at a yard sale in my college. Not really a yard sale, a more like a you know it was kind of like a yard sale. But anyway, enough of that. This movie's awesome. I don't know why the critics expected this to be highbrow entertainment. It's fun with the way it is, and I would not replace these practical tomatoes and the low budget that this had with a bad CGI that just takes me out of it. I like this stuff. It's what I watched when I was a kid, and a ridiculous premise can make a fun movie, and this is one of the prime examples. And it's definitely a film that people bitch about, especially the critics, because they don't know what fun is anymore. They want this highbrow stuff, and I would rather see this than a 3-hour Oscar contender that's boring. So give me that any day. Anyway, so that's my brief thoughts on the original Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, a fun B movie from the 70s that I think will live on, and I don't think it needs a remake. You don't need to put CGI tomatoes. It's not going to be as good. And I like some of the sequels, so it is what it is, and I do like that film. And, a lot of films get bitched about that have stupid premises, like the original Blob or Attack of the Killer Tomatoes or The Mangler or, a lot of things. Just, but when it works, it works. Even Sharknado, for instance. And I like those films too. So that's my thoughts on Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing, and watching my stuff. You guys are awesome. It's good that I have an audience that cares because believe me, this has been a rough year, and doing these videos makes me vent a little bit of that frustration I've had all year. And if it weren't for you guys watching, I would be nothing here on YouTube. I gotta acknowledge that. So thank you very much, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later.